Alright, I gotta make sure I talk about this. This game has been causing a really big uproar in the YouTube Switch community off of the fact that it didn't live up to their expectations. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. It's expectations. If this game is on as big of a scale on PC, because the map, when you first like spawn in, you're only scratching about maybe 5%, 10% of the map, and then you have to go around, and that's like a big radius too. So you have to literally explore that entire map, and you can scavenge and build all the way up from primitive weapons to even regular firearms. And it's also going to have a bunch of RPG elements, and you're constantly going to be able to level up within this game. But it seems like this game has a lot of depth, but it's still simple at the same time. But it seems like as of right now, this game's been under fire off of the fact that some people feel it didn't even need to exist on the Nintendo Switch, which I can understand, because if you really want to get into the technical specs of the Nintendo Switch compared to what this game needs to run, it's a Hail Mary, bro. Like, it is really a Hail Mary, because this uses a Tegra X, either 1 or 2, for the Nintendo Switch. And usually on PC, people are going to need like an i5 GTX, maybe 1070, 1080, and about 16 gigs RAM, and boom, you're going to have the most stable experience. However, because this game has so many different things loading in within the map, because if it's so huge, it's not like PUBG to where it's just a flat area and then you have actual players running around. This game is going to be constantly loading in NPCs, so that's where you're going to see some of your stutters and frame dips here and there. So honestly, for this game, it had some red flags. Like, when I first heard about this game coming over, I had November 30th locked in my brain because I wanted to play this game. I was going to get it on PC, but I was like, I can get it portable, so let me just see how it is. I know it's not going to be the prettiest game, but I was still going to play it. So I couldn't even find a physical copy. The freaking eShop didn't even have it on there. You could pre-purchase the game. And then when I finally went out to GameStop, because it didn't even hit the eShop, it barely hit until like 4 p.m. But then when I actually went to GameStop, they had 3 copies that was still in the box, and I went there at 6 to 7 p.m. So it seems like this game was kind of low-key dropped, which can really turn off a lot of gamers and make us wonder, like, why are you being so low-key about this kind of thing? And now a lot of people are kind of seeing, like, this game isn't going to be the best-looking Nintendo Switch game, nor is it going to be the best ARC experience that you can actually get. So for that being said, I understand why the game run the way it does, and it just had a lot of red flags, and it kind of put a bad taste in a lot of gamers' mouth when it comes to that. But the reason why I think it can cause some issues is mainly off of the fact that third-party companies may look at this and go, our game might be a little shoddy on here, let's just not do it. Which, to a degree, I can understand. That's something I'm fine with. If you can't get the experience right, cool, don't bring it over. But if it's somewhat playable, if it's actually playable, but it's just not the prettiest looking version, I just feel like a lot of gamers in or the YouTube community have kind of been ripping this game for the most part. But I understand the point of view, so that's why I'm not like really mad at it. But I just feel like maybe some people might need to know, because a lot of their subscribers just run with this kind of thing. One thing I will say that Ark Survival does really well is actually capturing the experience of being on that island. Like I said, it's a really immersive game. You will get sucked into it. If you can realize that, okay, the Nintendo Switch's hardware is not going to be the best. However, Nintendo has it to where you can still create games that look nice on the Nintendo Switch and still run nice. But when it comes to games that aren't even built for that type of hardware, luckily it was on Unreal Engine 4. If it was on any other engine, it probably would not make it over here. So, for that being said, I honestly didn't expect this game to look the best. And me actually owning a gaming PC, having like a GTX 1060, I would have known, because I've seen when this game was in early access and how it was still unoptimized, and it's still unoptimized today. I'm like, I know for a fact this game is not going to be just as crisp as Warframe. And I know a lot of people were comparing this game to Warframe, because I did a lot of research online looking at people's videos and just seeing what a lot of different YouTubers were saying about this game. And I must say, I can understand your point of view. I mean, it's their opinion. I don't care. But sometimes people get amnesia when it comes to like the Wii days. Because if you looked at the Wii compared to like the 360, when they had a port of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, it looked like utter dookie. So I don't know where they're getting this amnesia that every game needs to run and look like Warframe. And then Warframe is also a game that launched like back in 2014. Probably even when it was in its beta state was probably a little bit before that. Because when I got my gaming PC, that was like one of the first games that I downloaded. And that's when I had my doo-doo build. So for Warframe to run good on the Nintendo Switch, yeah, they're using old assets. Like, of course it's going to run decent. Like, Warframe has 0 issues. I think I may have crashed one time, but it's not to the point where it's, like, noticeable and having so many texture pop-ups and bugs and glitches and just bad shadows and shaders and whatnot. It's using old assets. Like, it's still fine. But then when you get to Ark, a game that, like, was in early access maybe around, like, 2016 or maybe 2015, but it had its full release 2017, that game is not going to be the same scenario. So, unfortunately, I don't know why they were really desperate to bring it over to the Switch. Now, don't get me wrong. Support is support. That's cool if you want to bring it to the Switch. That is good. But this is the lesson that some devs need to know. I'm not going to say that not every game needs to be on the Switch, but y'all going to have... I mean, if you would have known that this game was going to look like this, especially in this day and age where a lot of gamers are looking into a lot of the technical aspects and they want every single game to run a certain way, you should have known a lot of gamers are going to have an issue with it. And then some gamers who understand the Nintendo Switch's hardware and its architecture inside, they would know that no matter how much time you spend on this game, actually trying to make sure it's as optimized as possible, especially for Ark, it would never be as clean as you think, no matter how much time. Mainly because the base game on PC is going through the same problems, except because it's PC, you have options to have better hardware. When you have better hardware, it's gonna look and run better. However, because it's unoptimized, you're gonna get frame dips and bugs and glitches and whatnot. So, for that little mini rant, I will say, I'm not going to just say, everybody don't be hating on this game. They can say whatever they want. It's their opinion. They're entitled to it. But please do not get amnesia that we literally went through the Wii days. Because the Wii days, literally every port that they had looked like doo-doo. It legit looked like doo-doo. Now, their first-party games, crisp, clean. Every single one of them. Third-party games, like ports, look all like shit. They all look like poo. I'm not saying that every game should look like poo, and that's an excuse for this. But I'm just saying, the devs of this game, when they had this discussion of putting this crap on the Switch, they should at least put a disclaimer on. Because if you look at the trailer, the gameplay, side by side, it looks really rough compared to the gameplay that they're showing in the trailer. Because they're always just showing like the game running on like some freaking super PC. So then they show it, and then when you get the game, you're like, okay, this doesn't look the same. That's why people are mad. That's why they're pissed. There needs to be some... But then again, if they would have showed the game at its state, I guarantee you nobody probably would have bought it. People would have ripped this game before it even came out, and then it would have just been a disaster. But you wait till it's out. People already spent $50, $50 on this game, and then they get it. Some people don't like the way it looks. They say it's horrible. They say it's trash. Therefore, they don't play it. However, for me, I still enjoy the game. I can look past some of the issues that it has. Unfortunately, it has not made me sick yet playing the game. So I will say that the game for itself, if you want to play a survival game, it is decent. However, it is not the best version of Ark Survival. And unfortunately, the best experience you can get for Ark Survival is on PC. Unfortunately. And then even on PC, it's not all the way optimized. So it's going to have bugs and issues there. But like I said, and then the game supporting up to 64 players online on the Switch. Like, everyone looked past that. So I will say that is pretty nice. I did like that feature. And I think the lobbies were like halfway full, so it wasn't like it was like maybe like the first like 10 servers they had were like halfway full. But I have not ran into like a full server yet, just because people were scared to buy the game because so many different people ripped on it. So for the most part, I'm gonna end this video off just by saying Ark Survival was a swing for the fences that kinda, it wasn't a home run, but it hit a couple bases. And what I mean by that is to get Ark to run on the Nintendo Switch, because we do have mobile, and thank God we didn't get a mobile version of the game, like the mobile port, but we did get a port of Ark on the Switch. I will say that for what they could do with the Switch's hardware, good job. There's not a lot of devs out there who can really work around this type of hardware. Some devs just say, screw it, we're not even going to touch it. But I will say, as long as you don't have these unreal expectations that this game is going to run and look the best on a Nintendo Switch, Ark out of all games, just because of the fact that it's having its issues on all those other platforms. But if you don't mind playing at 30 FPS, there's going to be texture pop-ups here and there, and I mean, I had maybe a few glitches here and there, but it hasn't been as bad. But mainly, people are just losing their mind at the fact that how the game looks, and it wasn't their expectation. Now, they did release gameplay right before the game came out, so it's not like people didn't have a chance to actually look at the gameplay before they bought the game. But I will say that Ark Survival is a really fun experience on the Nintendo Switch. But if you're looking to play the best version of Ark, definitely on PC, hands down. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and you can leave your comments down below on Ark. You can say this game is trash, you can say you love it, you can just put some random stuff. I don't care. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.